man, we don't really know how, basically what kind of clicks we're going to get today.
Yeah, and that's the question, right? Because when Clix is rolling, you want to stay away from him going through. But one thing I don't think that's been talked about, Playify has put up some disgusting results, arguably been one of the best players on NAE so far this season. And Oliver hasn't played bad either, but right now, Centifan and Chubbs under a little bit of pressure here. This is Aegis and Rise trying to keep that ball rolling right off the start. They got the peppers popped and they're going in, but immediately taking some shots from the side, but great return fire from Rise. They're racking up the surge right now.
It's crazy. We knew there was a team here. We knew a fight was probably going to go down. It looks like that is exactly what just happened. And little do they know, it was Fable, Taco, and Jackson just off in the distance there, who had, by the way, one of the better back halves of their qualification mark in the final stretch. They almost were one of those teams that were just missing the mark there, but they did manage to pull through. And this is their strategy. If any of these teams have done their homework, which they all should have very well, they know and they understand. These are the same players that are going to be rotating in. They're going to come in quick. So yes, right now things seem to settle down. It's looking good for Aegis and Rise, but that is how risky their tournament life is right now. There are so many people keeping eyes on Greasy Grove.
And right now, over the northern part of the map here, you can see Milks and Rhythm trying to get in a fight here. There's a ton of loot and a ton of metal over in this area. It's a nice little fishing spot towards the outside, but sometimes it takes a little while to get that loot down. However, Rhythm and Milks not necessarily doing the worst here. Max shields and tons of excess utility, so looks like they're really the ones who are pushing the pace on this fight.
Yeah, ammunition looking great as well for Rhythm and Milks here. So they have a lot in the tank, right? If they want to sit this fight out and stretch this, they have the zone on top of them. There's a lot that they can actually do here. They really have the full advantage in this situation. And right now, it looks like they're trying to honestly go for the full limb secure here. These wall pieces and wall ticks are looking really good. And they actually have them spread out from his teammate here, 20, with a very risky play there and reciprocal with the counterfire. Nicely done for them.
Yeah, look at the bottom right-hand corner, though, Monster. We have another team. Those triangles represent a duo, and they're coming in. They're taking the high ground, and that's the problem when you get bogged down here. Normally, you wouldn't invest in getting in this fight, but because there's so much extra utility down here, you can afford to spend this much brick, this much metal, because you can very quickly farm it back up. But right now, Reciprocal and 20 are fighting this defensive fight pretty solidly. They're not investing as many materials. Granted, they don't have as many to invest. As you can see, 20 is completely out of brick, but now they're actually getting on the offensive.
Got to be careful, though. DJ and Yamzo creeping up ever so closely now as they are starting to sneak right into this battle, and there it is. They enter into the fight quickly, but 20 fast with the reflexes there. Great Kona going and slow down that push, that onslaught coming from up above, and here comes the full turtle. And look at this. They are only down to 7 builds now for 20, and not to mention, he is running through all of these enemy builds, right? They were just being hard pressured all through these builds, and now they have to go ahead and get on the defense here. Rhythm and company can go ahead and turn this fight around at any second now.
And DJ and Yamso have actually came all the way over from that llama split off the start, chucking some Fireflies over. But the Fireflies, while nice little min-max, and you're not going to hold on to them, don't do a ton in this situation, because the only utility you really find here out of the wood that everyone's going to have is a bunch of brick and metal. So very minimal damage actually put through. But you can see Milks finding a great line, and Reciprocal gets caught, I think, holding his edits out there, tried to get the shotgun shot out, but Milks found everything there. However, they need to back off and at least get some kind of shields down. You can see them wanting to pop the minis before the siphon comes through. But Yamso and Degen, they want a piece of this cake. I mean, Degen's right on top of this.
They saw the knock. They want a piece of this solo, honestly, that's left here. They want to deny any kind of pickups here. And honestly, if they've been paying attention, which they have, they've been looking at how long this fight's been going on. They probably recognize both these teams should be pretty weak and or at least running out of fuel here. So here comes Degen and Yamso now sitting on top of the builds. This is a power position to look down on the enemies here. They can be getting a rip through a lot of those weakened builds up top. Mind you, they did try to set that Firefly, so there's a lot of wood still there because the flames were distinguished a little bit earlier than they would have liked. So a lot of weak builds here.
Yeah, you would not believe your eyes if there were 10 million Fireflies, but fortunately for them, there was only one, and all of that brick, just going to be able to shut it down very quickly now. A little bit of investment coming through from Yamzo and them, but you can already see the weaponry. They can hang out here for a while, especially with the harpoon. There's so many fishing spots around here. This is one of the strongest sides, so as a caveat, I do my champion grind at the start of the season, every season, but I am also not good at the game compared to all of you who actually end up playing it, particularly during that time. So I spend a lot of time on the outside outside the map, fishing, just trying to find areas where I can kind of eke out my placement points. This is one of the strongest areas. It's worth fighting over. There's a ton of extra utility there, and the reason we're hanging around this fight is everywhere else is kind of slowed down. You can keep an eye on that top left-hand corner, but this is really the action happening on the map here. As you'll see, Rhythm will actually get taken